Und schon wieder willkommen zurück zu Ace Attorney Investigations. Wir sind immer noch in der gleichen Aufnahmesession und dürfen jetzt wieder das Flugzeug betreten. Wir haben unseren getreuen Polizeihund Detective Gumshoe an unserer Seite.
Ganz schöner Polizeihund. So you must be the captain.
Why, yes, I am. And who might you be?
I am the prodigy prosecutor, Franziska von Karma, and I have a few questions for you.
Wieso klingt Franziska so, als würde sie mir meine Zukunft vorhersagen? Don't you dare, Captain, getting friendly with another woman. I'll never forgive you if you do. What are you talking about? I only have eyes for you, my dear Cammy.
Cammy!
Cammy! I wouldn't bet money on our dear Captain to be much of a reputable person.
Sure you don't want to ask Captain some questions, sir?
He was in the cockpit the entire time. I highly doubt he would know of anything of use. Anyway, I'd like to leave that type of witness to Franziska and their whip. Okay. Das,
Ashley heißt aber Cammy.
Ah.
Was zum Fick?
Ich glaube, er wurde entweder gewippt oder von Cammy geschlagen. Okay. Da haben wir wieder unseren schönen Mr.
Ich weiß nicht, spricht der gerade? Wahrscheinlich, oder?
Ich glaube schon.
Ja, wir sehen.
Sorry, I'm sorry!
How long do you intend to hold me? It is impossible for me to be the criminal, I told you! Warte, wer der wütende singt, ja.
Mr. LeBlanc.
Oh, it is you. Tell this man to stop stopping me from going. Time is money. I don't even have 1 second of wasteful time to spend.
Okay, dann gehen wir wieder. Ah ne, komm, wir reden mal mit ihm. Achso, schade. Did you finish taking his statement yet?
Yep, alright, sir.
I do not concern if you're not done examining the cargo hold. I want my cargo back.
LeBlanc's cargo.
If you make a single scratch on my art, you will pay.
Cargo space, haha.
Art is money.
Art? What sort of art?
Mr. LeBlanc is an artist, so he's got a bunch of artwork down in the cargo hold, sir. There's practically a mountain of them, large and small.
From fall costumes to stone statues, I sell all kinds of arts.
Ich habe erst Stone Masks gedacht. Full Costumes? Speaking of which, Mr. LeBlanc's hat ist halt die gleiche Farbe wie das,
Wie der Schal, sowas aber.
ja, it can't das meinte ich ja. Aber ich dachte jetzt vorhin schon gesagt, ich habe es vergessen. Ich kann es aber vielleicht presenten? Haben wir ein Bild davon gehabt?
Ja.
Mr. LeBlanc, can you please take a look at this for me?
Oh, it's a Burgundian cloth.
Wieso sage ich einfach nie das, was ich denke, weil das war auch mein zweiter Gedanke. Das glaubt mir jetzt keine Schwein, weil ich nicht gesagt habe. As I suspected, your hat is made of the same material, I suppose.
Yes, of course. This fabric is so famous, orders come from over the seas for more.
Very clever. Updated.
Burgundian cloth.
Then this is the cargo you were talking about earlier.
No. My cargo this time is much, many gigantic. You, detective, when can I have my cargo moved?
You can get your cargo back when we're done investigating, pal!
The stubbornness of you police, it is no good. And it is no good that attendant refuses to exit the attendant's room too.
That attendant? I wonder if he's talking about Miss Tenero. Ah, siehst du,
Of course I am.
Roller Tenero. What did you mean by that attendant, Mr. LeBlanc?
She was taken into the attendant's room for her interview. And then they still have not come out. Mr. LeBlanc, was war das gerade? They make no sign of coming out either. I was finished with my own interview much earlier, quicker in her. Time is money.
Why is Mr. Nero's interview the only one that's taking up so much time?
Time is money.
It's a party.
Miles Edgeworth, you were given free rein to examine the plane, weren't you?
Yes, I was able to obtain the cooperation of the flight attendants. Speaking of attendants, I'd like to speak with Mr. Nero. I wonder if you might grant me permission to enter the flight attendant's room?
Before I do, you still have to clear up a few issues surrounding your own circumstances.
I understand.
You may have tricked those attendants with your sophisticated talking. But you can't pull the wool over my eyes, Miles Edgeworth.
Okay, nice. Endlich wieder ein kleines Rebuttal.
Ja, Mann! Let's not complicate things and go with the most obvious conclusion. The scene of the crime was here, and the very launch that body was discovered. From the time the victim was seen calling for an attendant until his body was found, the only person in this launch the entire time was you, Miles Edgeworth. This unmistakably makes you the likeliest suspect.
The likeliest suspect, Franziska?
Do you have a problem with that?
No, but it's not like you to use such vague wording. You're usually a bit more absolute.
I'm simply trying to watch out for you. Or is my kindness too hard for you to comprehend?
Thank you, but your leniency is unnecessary, for I will prove my innocence soon enough. If I want to continue my investigation, I'll have to break a line of logic. Fast. Schnieke.
Nice.
So. Oh Gott. Wir hätten vielleicht am Anfang nicht so viel Leben verlieren sollen.
Schon wieder.
So, das können wir direkt denyen, dass die Team of the Crime hier war. Aber die Frage ist mit was?
Gute Frage.
Die Frage ist mit was? Mit dem Bojanian Cloth, I guess? Oder mit dem Suitcase? Ich mach mir den Suitcase.
Ja, ich glaube
Objection! It would appear that you did not have all the information you needed after all.
And what does that mean?
I found a nice piece of evidence just before I was forced to stop investigating. A piece that proves that the body was moved from a different location.
Huh?
The killer used this suitcase, this extremely ugly suitcase, to move the victim's body.
I see that.
Meaning that the real scene of the crime is not this lounge at all.
Objection! Now who's the one rashly jumping to conclusions?
Excuse me?
All you did was find this piece of cloth inside the suitcase. That doesn't prove that the body was moved. It could be that the killer simply chose that suitcase as a good place to hide the cloth.
I expected you would come to that conclusion. It would seem I can't escape that easily.
You should know better than that. A phone camera is perfect in every way.
Ah, but did you know that the killer definitely wheeled the suitcase around at some point?
Objection! As if there is proof of that.
Where's the proof that this suitcase was moved around? Das ist hier. Die grape juice footprints.
The spilled grape juice in front of the elevator?
Ah, sorry, die Musik ist so gut. Yes, and I'd like to draw your attention to this area here. Where's the evidence that proves the killer dragged the suitcase through here? Through there? Diese Spuren, würde ich mal sagen. Present!
Hoffentlich eine großzügige Box.
This mark here, wouldn't you say... Ach komm, das ist doch schon... Das ist doch voll drin. Wouldn't you say that it looks suspiciously like trucks from two wheels?
I suppose.
Further, there's also grape juice residue on the wheels of the suitcase. This means that the suitcase containing the victim's body definitely passed through here.
I suppose.
I suppose.
I suppose this means that the killer did move the victim's body from somewhere else.
I'm glad you've come to your senses.
Objection! Not so fast! This still doesn't put you in the clear. Not by a long shot.
Ich muss mal ganz kurz sagen, Ich frage mich gerade, wann spielt dieses Spiel eigentlich?
Gute Frage. Es gibt auf jeden Fall schon Flugzeuge.
Ja, nein, ich meine jetzt nicht welches Jahr, sondern wo
Achso, in der
Timeline. Ja, genau. Weil Maggie Bird ist noch im zweiten Teil Police Officer.
Mhm.
Also, das heißt, es muss eigentlich schon nach dem zweiten oder Mitte des zweiten Teils frühestens sein.
Dann könnte ja Franziska vielleicht. You prepared yourself and acquired the piggy bank before the plane hit that turbulence. And then you waited for the victim in the launch where you beat him to death. Then, while you were in the elevator with the victim's body stuffed into the suitcase, the plane hit that patch of turbulence and out flew the body from within the suitcase. With no way out, you hastily put the suitcase back where you had taken it from. And pretend to be the discoverer of the body. Ich habe übrigens, seit ich weiß, dass sie halt relativ deutsch angehaucht ist, hatte ich das irgendwie die ganze Zeit die Lust, einfach die ganze Zeit the body und so.
Wenn du es elegant sagst, warum nicht?
Nee. Das schaffe ich nicht.
Not a bad bit of logic for something you thought of on the fly.
Just what are you insinuating?
But I will show you exactly how flawed your logic is.
Wow.
No matter how strong of a face you put on, not even you can hide your fears from me. I'll expose the flaws in her logic in one fell swoop.
Das ist schon fies jetzt gerade so.
Die dürften das, sie sind quasi Bruder und Schwester. So, when you waited for the victim in the launch. Achso, können wir da schon sagen, dass haben wir die Glass Shards. Present. Objection! The fact that you took this piece of evidence into account in your testimony is to be commended. Your legal prowess is certainly something to be feared.
Evidence and logic. Essential tools that those who will stand in the courtroom must learn to master.
But what if there was a fake piece of evidence thrown into the mix?
A fake?
This Mr. Ifley piggy bank. It's just a fake. It is not the real murder weapon.
What? Wait, what?
The timing of when the bank was taken from the shop is important, and was taken after the turbulence had occurred.
Das stand nicht im Skript, But then what about the blood on the bank? What do you make of that?
I assume it was added after the murder when the killer fabricated this weapon. Looking at it this way, the killer basically did 3 things after the turbulence. Ooh, Animation. After exiting the elevator, the killer brought the suitcase to the shop and left it there. Then the killer proceeded to pick the bank up from off the floor and took it to fabricate a fake murder weapon by hitting the victim on the head.
Hör auf, ist bereits tot.
Finally, the victim's wallet was planted on my personage, in my pocket to be precise. Everything was done so that I would be framed for the murder of Mr. Agby Hicks.
You there!
Yes, ma'am.
Other than this piggy bank, was anything else resembling a murder weapon found?
We didn't find anything in this lounge or in the shop that could be used as one, ma'am. Most of the items that could have been used were broken during turbulence, and the remaining items are tested negative for any trace of blood.
I see. Well, Miles Edgeworth, it appears your stale tactics are at an end.
But it's possibly that it's just hidden somewhere, sir. Hey!
If the criminal had wanted to hide the weapon in a safer place, I think the weapon would have been hidden in the same place as the bloody cloth.
Exactly what I was thinking. Because the cloth was hidden inside that suitcase, it signals to me that the killer had not prepared a more secure place to hide the evidence. Which means that the real murder weapon is either still on the murderous personage, or is still at the real crime scene.
Und damit würde ich sagen, dass wir jetzt auch erstmal diese Folge wieder beenden und wir sehen uns beim nächsten Mal.
Yeah! Der Cliffhanger! Woo!